Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my brand new channel on increasing conversions and sales to your page. My name is Nate, and I decided to create this page because the digital marketing world is vast and wide, and while there's a lot of opportunity, you've probably already realized by now that it can be messy. There's so many courses, so many strategies, so many people offering different things, putting together all these plans on how you can make a lot of money, but the more you dive in, you realize things are actually pretty complicated. It's not exactly straightforward, right? There's a lot of effort that goes into pretty much every part of a campaign to make something work, right? Like the ads, landing page, and so on. And so, what I wanted to do with this channel was essentially just kind of help provide like very easy to use advice on how you can actually, kind of break out of your rut and begin to make money with what you're doing in digital marketing. For me currently, I've had the pleasure of being able to help dozens of brands use, copy, creative landing page design to, transform their conversions and make, hundreds of thousands and millions of sales, for different brands. And so the cool part with that is that I've been able to understand a lot of what it takes to make things work, right? While minimizing the headache and the time that you spend trying to figure things out. And so, what I wanted to do here was just kind of, talk about different things related to digital marketing, as well as how these things kind of work together, right? And so, one thing that I want to do is to keep things simple. I want to kind of talk about everything in four simple steps as far as what you can do to increase conversions. And to keep things simple, I broke it down into four simple steps here. And so they are messaging, placement, proof, and offer. And what I mean by this is messaging, the copywriting aspect, placement, where to put buttons, call to actions, videos, and so on. Proof, the credibility, right? You basically proving you are who you say you are, which is extremely important today for this hyper skeptical market we're in. And then your offer, where you're selling to your ideal avatar, right? What is this thing you're selling here? And so these are what I believe to be four of the fundamental ingredients behind a winning landing page. And there's definitely more. You can definitely refine this a lot more as well. But these are some of the biggest building blocks that come to mind for me. And so we're going to discuss those pretty much in this video and future videos as well. So without further ado, guys, let's dive in. So I found this landing page, and it looks like it hasn't been converting well. Well, the main thing that comes to mind for me, especially with landing pages, is that they actually require a lot of insight that people lose track of, right? And what I mean by that is that, one of the most important things about a landing page is that it really has to give your audience clarity on what you're trying to achieve, right? Like, as far as, for example, if they come here, they should be able to understand really within a glance, what will this program do for me? What is this software going to do for me? Right? What is this product going to do for me? And how can we keep that as concise as possible, especially above the fold, and then sell them more below the fold, right? And so, what I want to do is just first kind of break things down according to what I have here, and then basically go from there. So, before I do, obviously, I'm not like a fancy tech guy, right? Marketing and sales is more so my thing rather than like the fancy graphics and text and video editing and stuff. And so, what I'm going to do is just pretty much, talk about the things that make you money, even though my graphic setup's not the best. So, cool. So, with that being said, guys, yeah, let's shred. So, first, messaging, copywriting. So this is what I do by profession. So for copywriting and messaging, when you come to a page, right, and like you put yourself in the shoes of your audience, um, one important thing that you have to realize, guys, is that people are busy. They like to be entertained, and they don't have a lot of time to waste, and they don't want to waste a lot of time. They want to spend their time doing the things they want to do, right? And so, with that being said, we have to kind of get to the point, be very clear, right? And then, so that so that way they can find out if something is for them or if it's not. Easy enough. So, one thing here is that starting with the headline, when we're talking about messaging, it says how to do self improvement and make sustainable progress within just a few weeks. Discover exactly how to self improve. Use these key concepts of self improvement to transform your life. Okay, well, looking at this off the bat, this is our most important real estate on the landing page, and it is extremely vague. Why? Because what does self improvement mean? That can mean a lot of things. Because to be honest, this is an entire industry. Like there's so many different, books and seminars. Like there's people like Mark Manson, Bob Proctor, like so many people that are in like the development, self development space, right? And so when you're saying something like this, who is this for exactly? And what does self improvement mean? Right? Like what am I going to get from this? And then how can I convey that as soon as possible? Because right now we're not being clear on that, right? And then just a few weeks, again, what does that mean? Does that mean 3 weeks? Does that mean 5 weeks? Does that mean 9 weeks, right? These little things matter because if your audience has to guess even the smallest bit, they will leave your page. I promise they will leave your page. So you want to be crystal clear on what that means. Also, let's see, transform your existing audience to a playground of self improvement. What does that mean? And make progress whenever you want. What does that mean? Right? Learn how to use innovative concepts to move goals, make progress automatically when you're not even thinking about it, work on goals, create opportunities, have a fluid system. Like, what does that mean? Right? It's like it's extremely vague. And so the reason what happens when things are usually extremely vague like this is because we're not crystal clear on the exact type of person that we want to help. Like for example, in the self improvement niche, right? There's things like self esteem, right? And see, so like for example, what if this offer was more focused on something like self esteem? Well, then automatically we're already talking to a more specific type of person because, for example, now we can say like, hey, okay, we're going to create an offer that helps you improve yourself, your self esteem in 5 simple steps in just 5 weeks or less, right? So already that is way more specific, right? And so like when someone sees that immediately, then they can decide, hey, you know what? I have self-esteem challenges, right? I like the fact that it's simple and can be done in 5 steps, right? And I can do it in just 5 weeks, not just a few weeks, because we don't know what that means, right? And so that clarity brings a lot of value to people who are viewing this page, right? And then next, when it comes to messaging, there's no talk about the challenges, right? Like it's kind of broken up in different spots here. For example, like life gets in the way. You expect to see results when you're putting in some, like so much effort, right? But like, what does all that mean? It's so vague. And like, when I see things like see results in quotes, like, and it's probably the same for you, you don't know what it means, right? And if you don't know what it means, your viewer doesn't know what it means. And that happens throughout the page, right? So here's the thing about this is like one, if you're going to make this work, one of the most important things that needs to be done first is to define who you're going to be talking to in the self-improvement niche, right? And then as far as other types of messaging, and normally I would go deeper into it if it was here, but like there's no lead in, right? There's no mention of the problems and the challenges, taking the audience through a journey of why they are where they are, the things that have kind of gotten in their way, right? Because from here we're pretty much selling them pretty quickly, right? Because by the time you get here, it's already pitching a program, but we've done nothing up here to connect with them. Like here, you've probably experienced one of two common scenarios: the resolution failed, the life invader, New Year's Eve, right? And so, what if you don't fall into either of these? Right? Because as human beings, our lives are very complicated and we can't just be put in one or two boxes. It's not that simple. And so if someone doesn't fall in either of these boxes, guess what? They're out of here, right? And so, yeah, the messaging here is there's a complete disconnect here. Complete disconnect here. So those are some of the things that I would do to improve that, but definitely refining your, like your messaging here, and then making sure that like you provide a clear connection so your audience can identify if this is for them or not very early on. Next, placement. So buttons, CTAs, videos, things like that. I think this is a golden opportunity for a video. I think videos are underutilized for sales pages, and they provide a lot of clarity for your offer. And it can be great for people who just want a very like quick, simple, powerful summary before deciding if they need to engage with your offer any longer. Now, obviously, it doesn't always need a video to work, right? But if you're going, like if you're ever thinking that you might have trouble like really connecting with your people, it never hurts to have something like that. Now, because this is a sales page, I would never advise putting up a button up here like, buy the course now for $17. The reason being is because on that sales page, people don't know what the offer is even about, and people like to click buttons, right? And so they might click your button, right, just to like check out the price or do whatever, but they're not going to read the rest of what you have here. And so, for placement, when it comes to things like CTAs and buttons and things like that, um, you know, down here, I don't mind it down here, right? Like that makes sense because you're kind of doing your offer stacking and stuff here. Like that makes sense. You have, like your guarantee being placed down here, CTA button here again, right? But then see here, like some of the problems, like why some people nail self improvement, right? At least it's talking more about challenges, but again, like this is stuff that you bring up top, right? This is the kind of stuff that should be being positioned very early on in the copy to make sure that we're selling people early. Like goal stacking here, like this seems like some sort of mechanism behind the solution. Right. So like again, this is stuff that really needs to be refined earlier on. And then down here, how much is it worth you to achieve self-improvement? What does that mean? Right? Because if that was refined a lot more, then this section wouldn't be as bad. And then down here, you've got a choice to make. This is a common crossroad close in the copywriter world where, like you essentially take your audience to like make two choices, right? One is to hop on the program, experience the benefits, or two, stay stuck where you are, experience the misery, and like of not changing, and then miss out on all the advantages that come with what we have for you today. Now, for some reason, there's three. Um, don't know why. There's a third. Risk it, risk nothing at all, and get the machine. Keep your goal same every year. You could try figuring it out for yourself. Like this could be combined, right? That could be combined, and then the program here as well. Uh, as far as anything else on placement, yeah, aside from that, I think those are probably the biggest things, but yeah, those are some of the biggest things that I would add there for sure. Some type of explainer if we're not going to be specific, um, and then make sure that we're positioning the right parts, like for example, problems here earlier up, and as well as solutions earlier up, so we can begin to segue into the offer. All right, proof. Now, this one's a good one because a lot of people do not use this. Guys, in our current world, it's no longer enough to say, like, hey, you can do something amazing. You have to be able to now prove it to some degree because people are not dumb. Like, the average person's not dumb. Even if, say, like, attention spans might be a certain way, or like people like quick fixes for different things. When it comes to buying something, people aren't dumb. They're going to shop, they're going to have objections, they're going to be skeptical because they need to take care of themselves. That's how we are, right? We protect our money, we protect, like we like to protect our environments as much as we can. And so people want to make sure they aren't getting scammed, right? So when I look at this page, there's nothing on here that has shown me someone has used this program to make a significant change in their life. I don't see any screenshots from Facebook groups. I don't see any video testimonials. I don't see any audio testimonials. I don't see any screenshots, right? I don't see anything that's telling me, hey, these people have killed it, right? Because proof is so important because that's your credibility, right? That's your proof that you are who you say you are. And those are the kind of things that you would want to add throughout the page to drive home your credibility. But I don't see those kind of things here. And that's a huge, 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 huge mistake. And so that has to be added in here. To be honest, if there was even just a section where they added in like 3 4 5 client results, that alone, if nothing else which was changed here, would probably get it a boost just on that, because proof is that important, right? It's the same principle as to why we search Amazon reviews before we buy something on Amazon, right? Like we look at the review ratings, like we want to make sure that our money's being well spent. And so this proof's too important to not have, especially nowadays with competition the way it is. You must have proof. You must have proof. All right. And then your offer, what you're selling to your ideal avatar. And is that clear? So when I go and look at the program here, the copy of the machine self improvement, right? How to manifest new knowledge into your life immediately, the innovative technique of goal stacking, using locations to optimize efforts, integration automation, pivots that transform mundane tasks into right. As you get into the more advanced stuff, you'll learn the power of randomness. Okay. So here's the thing with this. The offer isn't clear, right? What am I getting? And you're probably going to hear me say that a lot because it's not clear. Like, what am I getting? Using locations to optimize efforts to do what? To receive what, right? Um, to optimize what kind of efforts? Like, what efforts specifically will this help me optimize? Will this help me optimize how I think about myself every day? Will this help me optimize, breaking negative thought patterns immediately? Like, what does this help me do? Right? Because that's not clear on what's happening. Like I'm not clear on any of this. Advance your business knowledge at any moment. What does that mean? Right? You can go a long way with just making sure you're super clear on, like what you're going to be offering to people. And a very easy way to do that is to say, you will learn this so you can do that, right? You will learn about the power of randomness so you can learn how to control outside events in your life while maintaining inner peace, right? Um, let's see. Like you'll learn how to lose or gain weight the right way, but we don't know what that means, right? So instead of that, what if we said something like, you learn how to lose or gain weight, right? In a healthy way that lets you achieve your goals methodically, right? Over the next 3 to 5 weeks. And even that can be refined more, right? You can learn how to lose or gain up to 2 pounds per week, right? By following X, Y, and Z system, right? So there's a lot of things that you can do to just be clear on what you're offering, because in this spot, this is really where you want to sell them on your features and your benefits. The two work together, right? Because right now I'm getting a lot of features and not a lot of benefits, and the two must go together, right? So yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it for this page. Hopefully this helps. If you have an offer in this niche, that's one thing I would definitely tell you. I know there's a lot of money to be made in this niche, but easily one of the most important things you can do is to be simple, clear on what you plan on offering in that niche, and making sure to communicate it in a very clear and concise way. And you're going to hear me say that a lot, but I think if you do those couple of things, that will dramatically increase conversions to this site. Right. So, all right, guys, that is it for me. And until next time, peace.